Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard, and I want to talk to you today about your immune system. You know, in Ayurveda, a healthy immune system starts in the spring. While we think of cold and flu season as a time we need all of our immunity, from the Ayurvedic perspective, that immunity actually starts in the springtime. In the spring, it's very important to reset your immunity. Now, 70 to 80% of your immune system is said to be inside your gut wall. And that's exactly what nature is trying to prepare for us in the springtime. In the very early part of the spring, the deer, when the snow melts, they dig up the surface roots called rhizomes, and they're very bitter alkaloid roots like dandelion and golden seal and Oregon grape and turmeric and gingers. And they chew on these roots, and those roots scrub the villi of your intestinal tract. Get all the hardened mucoid material off the gut wall. Get rid of all the excess holiday food that we've eaten all winter long, all the heavy warm foods we ate all winter long. That gets scrubbed with the bitter roots, which is the very first harvest of the spring. Then after the roots have been dug, then the sprouts start to come out of the ground. And that fluorescent green covers the valleys in the springtime, loaded with chlorophyll. That chlorophyll fertilizes the good bacteria across all your villi. And now the bacteria are being fertilized. That's where your immunity lies. That's the beginning of your lymphatic system, right there in the villi and the lacteals of your intestinal wall. On the outside of your gut wall, you have about 80% of your lymph called the gut-associated lymph. And I wrote an article called The Most Important Half Inch in Your Body, and that's where those little villi and lacteals meet the lymph on the outside. The lymph is where your immune system resides. So the white blood cells sit out there. Any weird stuff gets through my gut wall, boom, my immune system is ready to pounce on that. I've got lymph under all the skin in my body, not just the skin that lines your intestinal tract, but the skin that lines my whole body, my heart, my respiratory tract, my gut. So you have inner and outer skin always backed up with either skin-associated lymph, mucous membrane-associated lymph in your respiratory tract, gut-associated lymph. It's very important that we have this immune layer ready to pounce on anything that might get through my skin and try to get into my blood. So it's very important that we understand that what nature is trying to do in the spring is heal your skin. And on the outside of the gut wall, that lymph is supported by the berries and the cherries, which are the very last thing to harvest in the spring. So nature said, I'm going to do this major thing to get your internal skin really healthy in the spring. And then come summer, we're going to have lots of fruits and vegetables, and that's going to keep the villi alive and keep the immunity happy and provide lots of carbohydrates and lots of energy for the long days and the short nights. And it's a really great plan, okay? Now, and the problem is that if we don't do this scrubbing of the villi and fertilizing the villi and getting the lymph to move, and then we go eat a bunch of regular, high, carbohydrate, greasy, processed foods that kind of gunk up and congest the intestinal villi in the spring when nature is harvesting, leafy greens, sprouts, berries, and cherries, really austere, low-fat, cleansing foods, then all that mucus in the gut starts to impact with summer heat, kind of dries onto the intestinal wall. And then, of course, you go into winter, we go from hot and dry in the summer to cold and dry in the winter. We become very, very dry. The mucous membranes everywhere become dry. They produce reactive mucus both in the gut and in the respiratory tract. And that mucus is a breeding ground for undesirable bacteria and yeast that can actually proliferate inflammation and cause problems in digestion and also compromise your immunity. So nature really did have a plan, and the plan for the winter immunity really did take place in the spring and the summer. Now, there is an herb called neem, which was traditionally used to do all of this, which is, I just think it's beautiful. Neem is an herb that was, it's a evergreen tree that grows all the time in India. It always has green leaves, and they eat this throughout the year. The bark, they brush their teeth with the twigs, they make teas out of the leaves, they press it and make oils. In some parts of India, they call it the village pharmacy because it supports so many different aspects of health for the body. The neem is very interesting. It's said that if you take neem in March and April, it supports immunity. It says if you take the neem in January and February, get a little jump on it, that it actually gives you 1 year of immune support. So it's been known for doing this for thousands of years. And what the neem does is it scrubs your villi. And what the neem does, it heals your skin. It's also called the queen of the skin. It was always used for topical things, make skin look good, for beauty treatments and things like that. But neem really is designed to repair and support the repair of the internal skin. And it also supports the proliferation of the good bacteria lining your intestinal tract. And it also supports the cleanliness or the purity of your blood and your lymph. So if there was an herb that did, what the bitter roots do, and what the sprouts and the leafy greens do, and what the berries and the cherries do, then this tree that provides these neem leaves, which has been heralded as the village pharmacy for thousands of years, actually has great support to offer the repair or the healing or the resetting of your intestinal wall, your intestinal villi, and supporting an immune response for the entire year. So think about how spring is really the time to take advantage of supporting an immune system that will last for the entire year. Let's not wait till cold and flu season to get our immune system on board. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard.